Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Hiker G16. It has been a long time, everyone, since I have filmed a video, so I'm kind of glad to be back. I'm filming this the day after this trip. Actually, I wanted to kind of give a little context before the video started. When I went out for this trip, I originally intended just to test out my GoPro camera and do a little day hike. Turns out this trail was freaking awesome. I seen a ton of wildlife, and I just decided to turn it into a full video. I thought it turned out pretty cool. So this trip takes place in Wind Cave National Park in South Dakota's southwestern corner, just southeast of the Black Hills National Forest. The area is really unique. It kind of reminds me of Yellowstone in a few ways, at least some of the open meadows and stuff of Yellowstone. So it's a really cool area. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy it too, and this is going to hopefully be the first of many videos to come in the future. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys. Alright everyone, I wanted to show you on the map the route that I did. This is National Geographic's Black Hills South map. It covers the Wind Cave National Park section. Wind Cave National Park is located just south of Custer State Park, and this is all going to be the Black Hills of South Dakota, Black Hills National Forest. The park's pretty small, as you can see. This is pretty much the entire boundary line of the park. So we're going to hone in here on the route that I did. So I took this road in and parked here at this Highland Creek trailhead. Took this Highland Creek trail south, and the elevation for this section here is really not bad at all. It's just a little hilly. As you can see, you got this Highland Creek flowing right here, so you kind of drop down into this a little bit and then climb back out to get up to this junction with the Sanctuary Trail. When I get to this junction here, I just continued on the Highland Creek Trail, and this is when I lost a ton of elevation, dropping down into Limestone Canyon here. This section's really cool. Probably the highlight of the trip for me was this whole once you drop down to the canyon floor, and right around here is when you start to gain all this elevation back. You know, you climb out from this canyon here. I took the Centennial Trail up, reached this trail junction, took the Sanctuary Trail down, again all fairly flat, and then back to the car. So there's no way that you can probably see this on the GoPro. However, way down there in the middle of the road is one of these coyotes. Anyways, I'm at the Highland Creek Trail. You can hear all the squeaking of the prairie dogs. There are hundreds of them. And that coyote down there in the road, I guarantee, is hunting all of them. All right, we are headed this way. So this is basically what it's like hiking when you get to this part of the country. South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. In the trail, it is just bison poop every few hundred feet, really. There's another one up there. They're not small pieces of poop either. I would not want to step in one. Check this guy out. Look at this monster. Imagine that coming out of you. Dang, dude. Here's a pretty cool look. You can see the Highland Creek drainage. I believe that's looking up it. And this is a look back into the area that I'm going to be hiking around in later today. Here's a look kind of from a different angle, looking up the Highland Creek drainage. You can see back up in there, maybe. No, they just cleared the little edge there, but there was a whole bunch of bison back there. But this is a different angle, looking up the Highland Creek drainage, and another look at where we're going. So here's a cool look at the little barrows that these prairie dogs have. You can see them all over, and they'll go down one and then pop up others. You can hear them squeaking. I guess just letting each other know that I'm here. You see them as far back as out there. I mean, there's just dozens and dozens of these little holes in the ground. I would love to see the maze that they have underneath the ground. That would be so cool. Check it out, we got a big old antler. That's pretty wild, pretty good size. All right, I have reached my first junction. Came from that way, and we're going to be continuing on the Highland Creek Trail this way here. So this is officially where we're going to be starting the loop. So we're going to be coming from this way later this evening to head back to the car that way. So as of right now, we're going to bypass this junction and continue on the Highland Creek Trail. Take a look at this here. The bison rub against these little markers here. They're trail markers, and it just leaves a ton of bison hair. It's funny. So I just rounded this little corner here. I don't know if you can see yet, but right up there on that hilltop is a herd of bison, which we're going to be getting a much closer look at. One thing I can say that I've noticed here at Wind Cave, Custer, this whole area here in the Black Hills National Forest, the bison are way more temperamental than I've ever seen before, like in Yellowstone and stuff. Probably because the ones in Yellowstone are used to hundreds of cars, if not thousands, a day. And these bison here probably haven't seen people in a couple weeks, especially if they've been back out here. Could have been longer. So anyways, you got to be a lot more careful around these bison. Not saying the ones in Yellowstone you want to just, you know, be reckless with, but the ones in Yellowstone, trust me, they're much more laid back, and as long as you give them a little bit of space, they won't mess with you. These guys here, they're already getting up and pretty pissed off that I am here. So I don't know if you can see them all getting up. Their tails are up. Oh, that's because that one's pooping. They're either pooping with their tails up or their tails are up because they're not happy. But you can see they're all leaving. Look at them all run. It's like a mini stampede. So there's a big old bison sitting right in the path. Oh, there's a couple of them. Oh, there's a whole bunch. It's probably a small herd, perhaps. There they go. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. There they go. That's why you gotta be careful walking over the tops of these hills that you can't really see over. Especially in bear country. Here, don't really think I have to worry about that. There's not a whole lot of bear sightings in South Dakota. However, bison, I do believe, cause more injuries and deaths than bears. But yeah, these ones are pretty skittish, so I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. Look, they are gone. I have no idea where they went. They are out of here. Well, I found where the herd of bison went, although there's only 3 of them here, so there's a chance those might be 3 different ones. There are bison all over this place. Wow, look at this view. Oh, there was 2 of them fighting. Look at them all. Oh, look at them fighting. You can see the red dogs. Well, they don't got their red hair anymore, but wow. So they have decided to stop right in the middle of the trail. So like that one's rolling around right there, taking a dust bath. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go off the trail because some of these guys are looking pretty upset that I'm even this close. So I'm gonna give them a wide berth. Make sure this one down here at the end, he's looking real ticked off. So, oh my God, there's a whole bunch more up on top of that hill way up there. So anyways, we're gonna go way over here. Give them as much space. Hopefully, since I'm coming up behind them a little, it'll make them walk that way. But I've got like what is that, 15 bison just staring at me. They're not quite thrilled either that I am here. There they go, there's some of them moving. This big boy down at the end, he is not thrilled. Go on. So they're kind of standing their ground. Some of them are, I forget what it's called, where they like dig their hooves into the sand. It's a way of showing dominance and showing that they're not happy that I'm here. So I'm just gonna go off into these trees. Wow, look at these trails here. This is all from bison, using the same trails every day. They are all still looking. So yeah, just giving them a big wide berth of room so they feel safe, and hopefully they won't want to charge at me. So they're all walking towards me, which is weird right now. I think they're all just keeping an eye on me. I can tell they feel very threatened. Obviously. All right, so I think we have made it around them. We're at a pretty safe zone here. I'm gonna turn the camera off now, get back on trail, and keep moving. Hopefully that's the end of the bison scares. All right, so if you all can notice, the trail is now descending. You can kind of see through the trees there. You see that ridge top? I do believe that's going to be the far side of Limestone Canyon, which is what we are dropping into. So we're gonna lose a ton of elevation, drop down into Limestone Canyon. In fact, I've wanted to do a trip in the future where I drop down into Limestone Canyon and hike the drainage up to connect with the trail on the other side and then finish the loop. I just thought that would be kind of cool. But right now we're just gonna stick to the plan. Drop down into the canyon, climb back out. It'll be a couple more junctions until we reach the Centennial Trail, which we're gonna start making that loop back around. And yeah, we still got plenty of hiking to do today. I feel like I'm kind of racing the sun a little bit. And you know, earlier it didn't bother me at all. I don't care about night hiking. However, every single time I get to like those little pillars, those little markers, trail markers, every time I get to one, the trail breaks off into like 4 separate directions because of the bison, all the animal paths and stuff. Wow, look at how steep this is dropping. I don't know if you can really tell, but anyways, so I'm a little afraid because the only signage are those markers. You know, the only way that you can kind of tell your direction. So I'm afraid at nighttime that I won't be able to see those markers, you know, in the distance. And I'm afraid I'll take one of the animal paths. And if I take one animal path and then another, next thing I know, especially at nighttime, I'm lost. So we'll deal with that later. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The goal is to actually finish with a little bit of sunlight now. Once I get lunch in my stomach, which is what I'm going to be doing, I think maybe when I get down to the canyon floor, I'll eat my sandwich, get some lunch. But I'm going to pick up my pace tremendously in hopes I can make it back to the car with some sunlight. I should have been on the trail when I was waking up this morning. I was still sleeping at 8 o'clock. So yeah, I should have been on the trail at 8 rather than sleeping, but that's, you know, that's what it is. So anyways, we're going to continue our descent down to Limestone Canyon. We are down to the canyon floor of Limestone Canyon. It's pretty neat. It's not the biggest canyon in the world, but it'd be cool to, like I was saying, walk up this drainage all the way. But no, it's kind of cool down here, kind of cozy. It's just a small little canyon. All right, just walking the path, and right in front of me is a bison walking the path. So I'm filming this partially to show you guys and partially so he can hear me coming and hopefully get off the trail, because I need to walk there. There he goes. Oh no, he's turning around looking at me. So it is 12:46 p.m. down in the canyon floor here, and I just want to show you guys how cold it is. This is all frost on the ground. The creek here is frozen. All this on the trail you can see is all frost from last night that just hasn't thawed, hasn't seen any sunlight at all. All right, everyone. So something very interesting has happened. I have reached my trail junction that's going to take me to the Sanctuary Trail. This is normally the section that I thought was going to be 6.2 miles. However, I looked at the trail sign here I don't know if you can see this, a Sanctuary Trail Junction, 2.5 miles. And I was like, that's not right at all, you know? So I pulled out my map and I looked at it. Those maps usually have trail mileage at each junction, if that makes sense. Like the sections in between the junctions will be marked and then it stops, you know what I mean? This one, for some reason, included this section and this section, you know what I mean? It wasn't separated by mileage in between the junction, if that even makes sense. That being said, it's 6.2 miles, including all of this. It's only 2.5 miles for doing what I'm doing. At least according to this sign, and after looking at my map, it does kind of make a little bit of sense. So I'm not complaining. Moral of the story is I don't have to race as hard against the sun now because I may have just chopped off 4 miles or so. Let's get to the Sanctuary Trail and keep getting this loop finished. It's pretty amazing, a lot of wildlife. It's been cool dealing with all the bison. Slightly frustrating, but it's been a really good time, and I got that awesome shot of that bison who came up and sniffed the camera. That was freaking epic. Probably the best shot that I've ever had of like wildlife before. So that's cool. So all right, let's continue. So there's a look down into Curly Canyon, just back in there. It's probably the only view we're gonna get of it. It's not a very good one, but we're continuing to gain all this elevation back to climb out of this canyon floor here. So I'm loving all these different zones that I'm coming into. This one's interesting. So there's a bunch of new growth here. And as you look, all these trees coming into view are dead and like broken off at the top. I don't think it's fire burn, or nothing looks burned. My guess would be wind, just super high winds. I don't really know what else would chop off the tops of all these trees here. Yeah, and here's another example, I guess. Just a lot of them are broken, and I don't know, but I love all these. Each trail is kind of like a new zone. It's pretty cool, actually. You know, this trail's not, this loop, I should say, isn't boring. It's different around every corner. But if you look here, all these trees are down. Yeah, I'm gonna go with wind. You can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. So this Centennial trail here has kind of turned into a road, which is actually makes it nice for hiking. I'd imagine they keep this pretty well maintained because it's kind of like South Dakota's Long Trail. But it's beautiful. It really is. As I'm hiking it, I'm kind of thinking how cool it would be to at least section hike this thing. So yeah, maybe that's something I'm going to do in the future. You can see more prairie dog holes in the ground. Here's one right here, actually. Whoa, almost lost my footing. All right, everybody. Well, sure enough, that was only about 2.5 miles. And we've made it to the trail junction. So, yeah. So we're gonna be heading this way. So due to another bison jam here on the trail, my trail's actually right over there in the thick of it. I'm opting out, and I'm just gonna kind of take this little dried up drainage here and skirt, because I'm going just around this bend here. So I'm just gonna take this drainage off the trail, and oh, look at those bison fighting. Can you see it? Can you see them? Oh man, they're still going at it. They're ramming horns or whatever. So yeah, that's the plan. Oh, I tell you what, it's really exciting seeing all this animal activity, but I've spent so much time off trail today, it's really slowed me down. I'm actually pretty thankful that I was able to chop off 4 miles or whatever it was. So hopefully I can get back on trail and be able to pick up a little bit more time. Still racing the sun a little bit, but it's not too bad. It is 2 o'clock right now, so I still got about 2.5 hours of sunset. So that's like 6-7 miles. That's not, I got plenty of time, but you can hear them snorting at me, and the two behind them fighting. Ooh. That one's peeing all over the place because he is mad that I'm here too. Okay, so I had no idea that there were elk here, but there's an elk. So there's elk here. See if I can get close enough. There they go. Do you see them? Oh my God, there's a bunch of elk. All right, I have made it back to the junction with the Highland Creek Trail. We came from that way. And now we're going to be heading back this way, 3.3 miles till we get to the car. So the trip was quite a bit shorter than I anticipated. I was able to chop off definitely like 4 miles. So I'm kind of happy because I didn't want to get lost out here. The trails are a little bit confusing. You could definitely get lost at nighttime. So pretty easy route, not going to lie. Expected this whole thing to be different, a lot more difficult. However, the amount of wildlife that I seen today, I seen bison, coyotes, pronghorn antelope, and elk, and a bunch of prairie dogs. So it was super exciting, and definitely would do this route again. But let's we still got 3.3 miles, so let's get back to the car. All right, I have made it back to the car. Whew, I was getting a little tired there. Quarantine has made me a little lazy. Anyways, that is a wrap, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It was really nice to get out, do a little trip, and just all the wildlife. It was pretty cool. So I hope to be posting videos again. Hopefully this is the first of many. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.